Yes, I'm similar to the Thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of Rough Riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter, your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Boniqua mommy, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow. Fuck taekwondo, I told a fofo. For niggas getting mad cause they bitch chose me. A big black motherfucker with G. You see, all I do is separate the game from the truth. Big bang boots from the Bronx to Bolivia. Getting physical like Olivia Newt. Tricks up my click dick all day with no trivia. So give me a bankroll and a bag of weed. I'm guaranteed to fuck until I nosebleed. Even if your new man's a certified Mac, you get that H-Town in you. You want that old thing back?
Like B-I-double-G-I-E with some new R-U-L-E. Notorious, known for bustin' in your E-Y-E. Baby, baby, bitches know they love to hate me. How come you come, we're coming back to maybe. How close we came to coming together is crazy. How come you and your sis send me the faces? When y'all coming, y'all be crying like I'm killing y'all bitches. I know there's a bigger picture than the camera rolling. Cause I don't think y'all be knowing how this shit's unfolding. Back shots to the rear, got the Mac unloading. Gotta reload like every so often. Saying I got my swagger back. I'm looking like bitch, my swagger never left. Don't be so hard pressed to be impressed by these new rappers. They actors and the fact is, you want that old thing back.
Like Scarface and Bushwick, Willie D, having nightmares, the girl's killing me. She mad because what we had didn't last. I'm glad because her cousin let me hit the ass. Fuck the past, let's dwell on the 500 SL, the E and J and ginger ale. The way my pockets swell to the rim with Benjamins. Another hunt's in the crib, please send her in. I fuck non-stop, lick my lips a lot. Used to lick the clips a lot, but licking clips had to stop. Cause y'all don't know how to act when the tongue go down below. Peep the funk flow, really go. I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen this, stroke of genius. So take off your Tim boots and your bodysuit. I mean the spandex, and hit my man next. Sex get rougher when they come to the nut buster. Pussy crusher, black nasty motherfucker. I don't chase them, I replace them. And if I'm caressing them, I'm undressing them. Fuck what you heard, who's the best in New York? Fulfilling fantasies without that nigga Mr. Raw. Or tattoo, I got you wrapped around my dick. And when I'm done, I got the split shit.
Small. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Nice to see all of you here. The description says it all. This market sucks. There hasn't been much to trade. It's been boring. It's been lifeless. I mean, the last 6 months have been pretty much this, right? Just choppy, very difficult to trade. I'm starting off with Bitcoin today just because I had posted something earlier. Thought I'd go over it. Thought it'd be a little maybe educational, maybe not. So I had taken along, actually this morning around here, around 57,550, 57,580. Ended up holding through that. We dropped. I actually moved my stop loss slightly lower. Didn't get stopped right away. Pumped back up, shot back down. Ultimately closed my trade. I closed at break even, for that matter. What really got me was after we did this, and I said, okay, we got the low, right? We did that kind of deviated wick that we've seen before. We've seen it probably 100 times in the last 6 months. So I said, okay, I'll let that play out. Deviated wick held. The next candle, we kind of bounced, and then the candle right after that, we dipped. I actually moved my stop right here, right on the opens and closes. I was like, hey, if we go any lower, we're looking at a bear flag. We're probably just going to bust down. Unfortunately, right after that, we pumped, and now we're just kind of chopping around. And I know some of you are like, well, why? If you would have just held, if you would have just done this, if you would have just done that. Well, here's my thought process. Yes, we pumped. We moved, like a percent from where I was? I mean, a 1% gain is hardly anything. That's not really going to get me anywhere. So, close break even, didn't take a loss. Got, the 1% gain happened. Now we're chopping. And if you look at the overall picture, we're looking at a bear flag. We're looking at another bear flag, accompanied by 4-hour and daily. I still think that we range. I still think it's possible we go down to 55 or possibly 56. So look, I know the hindsight people, they're like, why didn't you just hold? Why didn't, you got stopped out, and then we bounced at 1%, and it's like 1%'s not a big deal. It's a little frustrating, but as long as I didn't take a loss, I don't really care. So what are we looking at so far? And I kind of wanted to dive into this even more. Ultimately, a bear flag forming on the 15-minute. I took the trade based on the 1 hour. Right, I pointed this out. We had bullish divergences here between these lower lows in price, higher lows in RSI. The problem is now this is starting to consolidate to break down. RSI is starting to retreat back to the mean so that we can continue lower, in my opinion. Right? These divergences, usually when you see that bounce and it immediately rejects, now we're just forming a bear flag. Right? So if you're a divergence trader, if you're in a long right now, if it's in profit or you're at break even or in a small loss because we've hardly moved at all today, I would close it. Right? You never know when a bear flag is going to break down. It could break down in the next hour. It could break down tomorrow. It could break down while you're asleep. I hate for you guys to take a serious loss on a not so serious trade. And what's up, David? How you doing, man? My man. Well, unfortunately, this market's like putting me to sleep, man. There's hardly anything to talk about. I had this discussion with the patrons. Like, everyone's like, oh, not many people are like talking. There used to be a lot more active discussion. And I said, what's there to talk about? I mean, for the last 8 weeks, we've done this. Right? We've just chopped around everywhere. I mean, if you go to the daily, we haven't moved since early August. We're now halfway through September. We haven't done anything. We haven't broken our range. We haven't formed a lot of volatility. We haven't had a very significant move. We have had extremely low volume this entire time. So it's tough to say. It's tough to be excited when nothing's happening, right? No one wants to stick around when nothing's happening. That 1 hour trade driving me insane. Same thing with my group getting quiet. I mean, I feel like it's same everywhere. I did if you guys go online and look at exchange trading volume, it is the lowest it's been in 2 years. Because, I mean, as you guys know, I have affiliate links with Coincatch, Bitkit, and Blowfin. Blowfin, we're going to put the trading bot on, and same with Coincatch. It'll probably load the same time. I'll give you guys a little bit of update on that in a moment, but even the affiliate stuff, like, no one's trading. I can see the trading data. Now, I don't know. who you are person by person, but I can see the trading data. It's been trending down for the last 7 to 8 months since Bitcoin kind of topped. Obviously, not many people trading. What was funny is it was actually the highest I've seen in a while, like here on the second peak. And then we've just kind of been trending down since. So, that exchange data I look up matches my data. It's not like we're seeing a lot of uptick. I'm noticing that there's a lot of kind of traders, influencers, whatever you want to call them, not posting as much. I'm not going to name names. Like some of the guys I really like and like to listen to, like to talk to, like to even have on stream, they're not trading as much. They're not posting as much. They're not doing as much. And that's primarily because there's nothing to do. And I do this every day because I enjoy it, right? This is what I like to do. I like to stream for you guys. I like to present data, but it is harder to have a productive stream where you're learning something if there's nothing to teach. There's nothing, there's not like a setup. There's not anything. We're just chopping. Correct. What do we talk about? I mean, that's the other thing. Like, Dorian, you're in my Discord you've been in my Discord for a while. It used to be very productive. It used to be very, a lot of people could teach you stuff. A lot of people, helping each other out. It was a great little environment. Not that it's still not, but it's like the same 15 to 20 people talking. Whereas 8 months ago to a year ago, it was 500 people talking. The chat was going crazy. We had all these different chats. We had, even the Patreon chat. I had 40 to 50 people. I had 40 to 50 messages I had to respond to. And now I'll go 2 days where I don't hear anything. And look, the funny thing is, not that it's like funny, but people are still, like, the Patreon's still keeping retention. Like, there's still people being members, wanting to learn, wanting to be around, wanting updates. But as for discussion, it's all gone down. And again, that comes from, there's just nothing to talk about right now. It's just boring. Oh yeah, it's time right now. 100. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But real quick, before I get into some analysis, I'll open up the SPX just real quick. So real quick, trading bot. I made the update. In Discord. So I will read it to you guys just because I need like all the technical details just real quick. So essentially what happened was we had set everything up. Everything was running perfectly fine under 1x leverage. So like basically, this is how the trading bot works. So you have the bot that's making trades, right? That gets sent to me, right? So basically that bot is trading on my copy trader, and then that data is then sent to you guys, right? Whoever it might be. The issue is there is some kind of I don't know the right term, guys. I'm not in IT. I'm not a programmer. But there's some type of issue when you're not using the same leverage that I'm using. And look, I could set it up so I'm like, hey, you guys have to use the same amount of leverage, but I want it so you guys can use your own. You guys can use whatever you want. Because some people don't like to have capital on exchange. Some people do like to have a lot of capital on exchange. So I'm trying to keep that door open. Anyways, if you use a different amount of leverage, something gets messed up in here. And the good thing is it's following the trades like 90 to 95%, but we want it 100%. We want it 100% even, no issues, right? Binance does this really well. Bybit does this really well. But some of these newer exchanges like Blowfin, Coincatch, even Bitget, because they're newer, they have to develop this. They have to find these issues and then fix them. So it's one of those things where it is a new system. So we're trying to figure it out. It should be, so we're going to run tests again from now until the end of September. If we have no issues, then we will open it for you guys in like the beginning of October. And the good thing is October, November, December are usually pretty good months for Bitcoin. The bot team has told us that they really, we're working nonstop. Like I'm talking with them nonstop. We're trying to get this ready by October because typically, historically, it's not only good for the bot, Bitcoin generally does very well in the fall and winter months. So Sorry about that. I know we were supposed to be ready last week. I didn't really give an update just because I wanted full information from them. We were still trying to figure out the root cause. The good news is this. I did get news from Coincatch. They should be good to go in mid to late October. So we'll have both options. For whatever reason, if Blowfin continues to not work, then we'll be able to open it up on Coincatch. Coincatch actually ran really smoothly, but there is an issue with the one-way trading system and the two-way trading system. Two-way trading is basically you can have a long and a short open at the same time. Well, the bot doesn't use that. The bot either is long or short, right? It's not both. And that's the issue is if it's both, then it's not closing losing trades. It's leaving them open or adding to them, which makes it worse. And the bot's trying to overcompensate for something that shouldn't be there. But Coincatch is also going to have the smart copy trading system up as well. So once all that's good to go, get that out to you guys. Again, I apologize. Trust me, I want this thing to be open to you guys as soon as possible, but I'm not going to give you a product I'm not 100% confident in. Right. Analysis. So the good thing is new weekly candles. We've got some good updates. We've got some, honestly, bullish continuation across the board. And that includes the dollar as well. The dollar giving us bullish confluence, but ultimately looking bearish. So, S&P. We have bullish divergences that we created last week with this weekly close. This is looking more like sideways to continue higher rather than this double top. I told you guys last week and the week before then, I highly doubt that double top plays out for a number of reasons. One being it looks very awkward. Your midpoint is very long. That looks more like sideways, or a double top looks more like this. So lots of sideways movement in here, much needed. We needed to create a bullish divergence to continue this uptrend and to give RSI a breather. So ultimately, look, we could continue moving sideways and then up. We could go up, retest, and go up from there. Either way, I see up. I see bullish continuation. I do not see any weakness so far. If any of you guys are in longer term investments, right, we're basing our spot investments kind of off this confluence between equities, the dollar, tether dominance, and Bitcoin. So for the most part, looks great to continue higher. Should see Bitcoin follow at some point. One thing I did want to look at was this. I mean, hopefully Bitcoin can follow. We've been trending down and the SPX has been trending up. So hopefully Bitcoin can continue its upward run soon. Kind of sucks that we're not following the S&P. But we did something similar in 2020. So, right, I mean, 2021, Bitcoin dumped. The S&P kept moving higher. And then Bitcoin soon caught up. And then everything topped together and started dumping. So I am anticipating this to follow. It's kind of like, when is that liquidity going to dump in? What's up, Yasser? How's it going, man? If SBS break due to rate cut, we can retest 48 to 42. You mean break down? I don't think it's going to break down. I don't think we see a breakdown, to be honest with you. Right, let's look at the dollar. So, brought this up this morning. Dollar and last week. Dollar looks like a bear flag. Again, with this double top, I don't believe that this is a double top. It looks more like sideways, especially with the wick. When you start drawing this and you're like, okay, we're just moving sideways here. Again, a double top is more like this. Right, where you have that nice midpoint. Our midpoint is equal to our legs here. So, not really a double top to me. The good news is we could continue here and then break down, but ultimately we're just forming a bear flag. Right? We've been talking about this. Unless we see some kind of reversal sign, which currently we have none. I guess you could argue maybe a little bit of divergence here. But to me, it just looks like we're moving sideways, likely to continue lower. Again, downtrend, sideways, continue down. Right? We need to build volatility to break down. We need to build. We need to cool off RSI. We were very oversold. So a lot of consolidation here will help some of those problems. If you open up Bollinger Bands, we are building volatility now. We're missing out of a lot of volatility on this first bounce, but now that we're moving sideways, we're creating it. Again, volatility will assist losing this massive support level. So overall, stocks look bullish. Dollar looks bearish. Market should continue upwards. I really don't see any issues so far. Kind of all of this follows the kind of election narrative too, where we pump going into elections. All good, all good. Missed the streams, man. I've been streaming, but you haven't missed much. There really hasn't been a lot to talk about. I feel bad because I have not like been cutting the streams early, but because there's not a whole lot to discuss, there's not a lot of hype. You know, it's hard to keep the ball rolling. And I don't want to exhaust people with saying the same thing every other day. Real quick, I do want to remind you guys that Total 3 is currently outperforming Total 2. Or, excuse me, Total 1. So Total 1 showing some nice relative strength. Excuse me. Total 3 showing nice relative strength compared to Total 1. Total 1 making lower lows. Total 3 holding its lows. Whether or not you think this is important, so the reason why I bring it up, I think Solana, Tau, Link, Fetch, Pyth, TRX, Doge, and BNB will all be decent performers if Bitcoin goes up and continues somewhat of an uptrend over the next couple weeks. Where do I see the top for Bitcoin this cycle realistically? I have no idea. I don't really like to call tops and bottoms, especially when we haven't even seen a liquidity shift. I mean, if you were to really ask me, like, what's my guess, 150K? Like, between 120 and 150K. And I know that when we get there, we're going to have signs of exhaustion. Everyone's going to say 400 to 500K, and then we're going to crash. It's almost a guarantee at this rate. So hopefully higher. I hope we go to 200K, but I'll probably start taking profits once we break 110. Or if we break 110, you know, you never really know. When are we going to go parabolic? I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea. Hopefully soon. Stocks are looking great. The dollar looks bearish, which is great, again, for every single asset class. Gold is doing well. It's really just crypto just not doing anything. Seems like they say it may go away in October we send. Possibly. It's a good tether dominance. Honestly, we haven't done a lot in the last week. The only thing I really have to point out here is we have some potential bearish divergences. I say potential because you have all of these candles in between. We did not create a bullish divergence, though, here. So I guess that could still act as bearish divergence. You also have a bullish divergence on Bitcoin's one day. Are rate cuts bullish for crypto, or is it already priced in? That depends. Rate cuts aren't necessarily bullish or bearish. And if you open up, actually, we can open up Bitcoin and do this. So here are rates. Now you could say, oh, well, we cut rates and we dumped here. Okay, well, we had COVID, right? That was more of a COVID crash to me than anything. And you could argue, oh, we raised rates and saw a major decline, right? I don't think there's a huge correlation. I mean, usually stability is the best indication that we continue higher, I guess. I mean, that goes with really anything. I mean, even here, we kept raising rates. Bitcoin continued to move up. Now we've been stable. Since being stable, we also continued higher. It's tough to say. I can't really say is bearish or isn't. Or, excuse me, it is or isn't bullish or bearish. I see some people calling the top at 80K, so I was curious. I think you generally have good calls. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if the top's at 80K, the top's at 80K. I mean, I don't see how we'd just go to 80K. I mean, if we go to 80K from now, we still won't have that much hype. Hoping Tau goes parabolic. I'd be happy to see 3 to 4K Tau. So would I. I have a lot of Tau. I have like 200 Tau. Be beautiful. Yeah, it's tough to say because you could look at the SPX as well, and there's numerous examples where rates have gone both up and down, and the market has done both an up and a down. In my honest opinion, I think stability is the best. When you're stable, the market generally goes up. Stability is the best because it's easy to adjust to. When you have all these variables, it could go up or down. It just depends on a lot of other factors. Again, I'm not 100% sure. In my opinion, I think, okay, so my honest macroeconomic opinion, if rates drop, I think it'll be good for business. I think people will buy homes, or more homes will be sold. I think the economy will be stimulated because you have to remember that our economy and a lot of economies run off borrowed money. So like if you're a business and you want to expand, or let's say I have a pressure washing business. I'm just, I know it's small business, but let's say I have a pressure washing business and I currently have 2 machines, right? 2 machines that run and I make $1,000 a week. So each machine makes me like $500. Well, I could buy the next machine or I could take a loan. If we have low interest rates, why not? Then I could buy, another machine. Now I'm making $1,500 a week. Or even another machine. Now I'm making $2,000 a week. I've literally doubled my output. Yes, I took a loan, but I can easily pay off a 1 to 2% interest loan, or loan on 1 to 2% interest. But when interest rates are where they are now, people are less inclined to take on loans and risk, and businesses are kind of staying stagnant. They're not growing as much. And again, if you can grow your business, the economy is being stimulated. More people are making more money's being spent. Everything's turning and churning. So, all right, let's look at Bitcoin. Get to Bitcoin. So the new weekly candle, I mean, honestly, guys, I don't have a lot here. It just kind of looks like shitty chop. I mean, the title of the stream today was "The Market Sucks. Let's just stay vigilant." And by staying vigilant, that means just check the higher time frames. Today was a perfect example of when to not trade lower time frames. Right? In my opinion, and I've been talking about this the last couple days, I believe we continue to chop around here, build volatility through our Bollinger Bands, possibly build some kind of bullish divergence system here. Possibly a reversal pattern. I mean, this could be interesting. For now, I'll put these diagonal lines in. But you guys know me, I'm not a huge diagonal line person. But it seems like we're building that volatility again. Bollinger Bands are following. Everything's going to get volatile. And look, we're halfway through September. When is October? Right here. So towards the end of the triangle, I mean, you could do this. You get a double bottom. Bam. That'll be the trade of the year if we get something like that. But for now, I mean, there's not a lot to work with. We've seen volume kind of tapering off overall. And just to even show that further, you can actually do this. Volume moving average and volume is tapered off quite a lot. I mean, volume's been averaging much lower as we're ranging. Again, good sign to build volatility, but obviously not very fun to trade. Trade of the year amount, dude. If we get something like this, that'll be the best trade I've taken in probably a year and a half. Been a tough little while to trade. Cause yeah, what was it, like a year ago? Well, a year and a half ago we were here. Or no, sorry, a year ago. Yeah, we were in here and we basically just pumped off the ETF narrative. I made some good money catching some of these moves. Excuse me. I made some good money catching some of these moves. But a lot of it was news based, so I just was in and out. There's no reason for me to be like holding a big swing trade when I knew it was supported off news. But let's dive into the 4 hour and 1 hour. Then we'll move off from Bitcoin. Just because I know it's been boring. I showed the 15-minute earlier. I mean, look at this. For any of you guys that are new, like what the hell is this? How are you supposed to trade this? Right? Like you see the divergences here. Let's say you get in down here. Okay, we pump and we're right back to where we were. So I guess if you're day trading, that's great for you, but I don't know. It's been a tough market to trade. So the 4 hour, kind of like the daily, not much to really go with here, guys. We almost got a double top here. Right? I know it looks very double toppy, but we never breached that. And here, I'll even zoom in. We never breached the left-handed side. To me, that's not a double top. Right? You've got to completely get there, and we didn't. So if we would have gotten it, it would have been a great short opportunity. But unfortunately, we did not get it. Trade of the year inbound once clock hits October. Dude, I hope so. October's been a great year for the last, I want to say 5 years. It's been a great year, or a great month, excuse me. October's been a great month for the last 5 years. All right, let's look at the 1 hour, see if there's anything here. I pointed out these divergences earlier on Twitter. The problem now is I think we're forming a bear flag to continue lower. All of these divergences and their pumps have been insignificant. Especially the one we got today. Yes, we kind of bounced a little bit, but now we're back to where we started. So again, it's kind of like, if this isn't giving us a bounce, what's actually happening? It looks like we're consolidating. And since we're already down, consolidation generally means you're going to continue lower. Unless we get some like beautiful reversal set up on like a 1 hour. But I currently just see this kind of bear flag. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, consolidating on the weekly. I guess we do have a little bit of divergence here, which you can see on the daily. So the thing that I was kept saying is, if Bitcoin dominance bounces here and continues higher, then we're okay. If this dumps through, and not saying that we wouldn't be okay, but alts are going to go ballistic if this happens. Like again, your Tau, Solana, Link, Fetch, BNB, Doge, TRX, Pyth, I think we'll do relatively well. But so far, we just have a kind of breakout looking to retest. Man, I feel bad. There's 600 of you guys here. I really do appreciate you guys being here, but market's been boring. Piece of advice. I guess I'll just give pieces of advice. And while I'm giving it, if you guys have any questions, put them down in the chat. Guys, I prefer that you use YouTube's chat just because the multi-stream chat is a little funky sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't come through on X's side. So if you have any questions, go to YouTube, write them down. More than happy to answer them. But biggest piece of advice I can give you. Do you want to, we have this. It's not like crypto hasn't seen chop in the past. We've seen it in the past. If you want to succeed through this chop, do not look below 4 hour. Right? Preserve your capital. Take high conviction trades and be patient. Right? I know it's a pain in the ass because sometimes you'll look at something and you're like, oh, I think it's going to bounce here. And then it does. And you're like, oh, see, I was right. The next one I'll take. Well, then we get some crappy divergences that just end up going down and you lose money on that one. Or we get a crappy setup and you lose money on that. And I can guarantee you, throughout this gigantic range, not a lot of people are making money. There's not enough big moves. There's a lot, and there's a ton of chop We haven't had a strong uptrend, and really we haven't had a strong downtrend in 6 to 7 months. And usually you make your money on those stronger trends. So again, my piece of advice, be patient, right? Don't go in trades that are half-baked. Don't go into setups that are half-baked. Make sure your risk management is very high, right? Like, don't take more than, like, honestly, the last couple trades I've taken haven't been more of a 1% risk. But I know to some of you are like, oh, you're not risking anything. Like, yeah, why? Why would I risk when we're just being choppy? I can still make decent money from that, but I'm not going to take a big risk if the setup and everything under it is not good. What do I think about FTM? I don't know enough about FTM to answer that. I apologize. I already checked USTD or tether dominance, excuse me. Just go back in the stream on YouTube. It's just kind of crazy that even with the ETF hype, the market still just kind of tapered off. What about NEAR? I don't know anything about NEAR. Guys, a lot of altcoins, unless you see them here, I don't trade and I don't know a lot about. So I would do your own research there. I don't want to answer a question that I don't have a good answer for you. It's not that I don't want to answer your question. I straight up don't know. This was left. So this, I mean, I can do TA real quick, but this was left the last time someone asked for some technical analysis. I mean, just straight off the bat, it looks like we're headed down to, what is this, 2.75. But, yeah, I mean, some of these, like down here, like so everything except for, let's see, I just got okay. So everything under Pyth, I don't invest in, and that was actually, so if you didn't know, if you're a Patreon, I go over private charts for you. You know, I'll give you results, give you TA on anything, because generally I don't go over altcoins, but I wanted to open the door. If you're very interested in a coin, I'll help you with it. But again, it's not alt season for me. I'm not really inclined to be trading alts. How was the debate stream? It was pretty good. We had like 2,000, 2,500 people in here. The debate itself was a disgrace. The stream is fun. If there's another debate, I will definitely stream it. But we're now finding out all this information about how much corruption was in that debate. And it's sad. Like, regardless of which candidate you're for, you can't have that. You have to be honest with everybody. You have to show integrity and honesty. That's the only way we're going to progress. Short-term Bitcoin ideas. So I went over those when I went over Bitcoin. Ultimately, we're making a bear flag to head lower. Guys, if you're new in the stream, I go over SPX, the dollar, the total charts, tether dominance, and Bitcoin dominance in that order. So if you have Bitcoin questions, go back in the stream, check out Bitcoin. I go from the weekly all the way down to the 1 hour. And actually, I did talk about the 15-minute briefly. ETF had so much hype just to do nothing. Yeah, I mean, that's when the market expects, when everyone expects the market to do something, it will never do that. Just as a heads up. Ever. You think all-time high in October? Probably not. Maybe November, possibly December. I think your best chance is December, kind of like 2020, where we get the setup in October, it pumps through, maybe corrects at the end of November, and then we break out above all-time highs in December. That would be the most ideal kind of setup or movement. All right, guys. We're 40 minutes in. I do apologize. Normally I stream longer, but there's just not a ton to talk about. Real quick, for anyone that's new, I do live stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday around 5 p.m. Eastern. I went over this earlier, but the trading bot. I've gotten a lot of questions about the trading bot. So the bot should be ready by early October. I gave a full explanation in my Discord if you want to read it, but basically we're running into issues when there's different levels of leverage set between myself and you as the trader. So we're trying to figure that out. Again, the bot's working. It's running like 90 to 95% accurate, but we want it 100% accurate. So once it's 100%, we've seen 100% accuracy under different levels of leverage for about a week or two straight. Then we'll give it to you guys, and you guys can, have the opportunity to invest in it. What is that, Joe 89K? So range highs test October. Then no, I don't want to be like an absolutist. I'm thinking it's possible. Right, it's possible, but I currently don't see a long setup. So I would not take longs thinking October is going to take us higher. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and always be patient.